everybody. Welcome to Hot Mic with Lady She. I'm your host, Lady She. It is Friday. I'm hyped because it's actually Friday for me. My schedule is very weird, so my Friday could be literally on a Tuesday. Everybody else doing them for the weekend. So happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining in. I need you guys to tag somebody, share this live because we're about to have a good time. Listen, I am hyped right now because I'm about to learn about something that could actually help my household be, close to my heart in reference to my son. And we will tap into that for some of you who do not know me. So, welcome, Miss Candace. Moonsammy.
Moonsammy, yes, okay. That is my maiden name. It's just Moon and Sammy. I am Guyanese.
I love it.
I'm mixed with Indian and Black. We call ourselves Dougla.
Dougla? Mm-hmm. I never heard of that.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a Guyanese thing when you mix with Indian and Black. Okay. So I'm Guyanese. I am the owner of Illmatic and also Zion Heritage. I started it about 2 years ago during the pandemic.
Nice.
I was just sitting
still. That means she had no excuses.
Right, you don't. I am
excuses.
41 years old, and I have my mom of four.
Right.
21-year-old, 19-year-old, 13-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Yes.
And you can do anything. You can start anything at any age. It's most important for you to jump. When you have a feeling within you, you got to jump and do it, or else you will miss out on it.
I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that because every time I would come on, I would say, listen, I just jumped out there.
Yep.
When people ask me, like, what made you do that? I'm like, God spoke, and I'm like, I'm doing it. Yep. I'm doing it. So listen, do it scared.
Yes.
Do it scared. No one knows everything because at the end of the day, business is always changing.
Yes.
As
and
you can
learn
see,
along the way.
Yeah, you learn some stuff along the way. You can see things changing in the world that we live in, taxes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you want to learn about what's best for you in reference to S code. We're going to tap into all that, y'all. I'm just throwing a little couple things out there. But, we're going to get educated tonight. We're going to get encouraged tonight, and we're going to be inspired. So, Candace, pandemic time. What made you get into hemp? And tell us what hemp actually is.
Okay, so I actually started in hemp. I had gained some weight.
Okay.
I was trying to lose some weight. So I was using a tea, which everyone knows, right? And it had some hemp in it. But the question was, how much hemp is in this tea?
Okay.
Right? The tea did work. I did lose the weight, but then my wheels just started turning in my head. Being at home, working remotely, you start asking yourselves a lot of questions. What is hemp? So I started to look into it. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, hemp was legal.
Right.
It was mandatory for everyone to grow hemp. The first Bible is made out of hemp paper.
Right.
There's ropes, there's shoes, there's t-shirts, there's so many things. It was mandatory. And because of DuPont, right? Mm-hmm. DuPont carpet. Right. Because of that, they made it illegal. They came up with a synthetic. So in other words, this world that we live in, mm-hmm. they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be healthy. They want you to substitute what's healthy for something that's...
Now, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, let's just go back, to your childhood, you being Guyanese. Were your parents here, or they come from there and then you were born here? Just tell us that answer that.
My parents and myself were born in Guyana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that. So what was that do you remember anything about coming over?
I came up here when I was young. Okay. So I came up here when I was 1. Mm-hmm. But going to high school here, we use different words. So in other words, we say short pants. So people are like, huh? You mean shorts? Yeah. And so we say things like plasta, and it was like, what's that? Like a Band-Aid? So it was trying to convert.
Right.
Yeah, I had a friend, Stacy, right? She was my first Jamaican friend that I met in junior high school, and I had long hair, and she was like, girl, you got some tall hair. And I'm like, tall hair? It was a big culture shock, but then you slowly realize who you met with because you're closer to them within cultures.
Right. So let me say this. Now, you grew up in Queens?
Grew up in Queens,
okay. Because I want people to understand the dynamics. Queens is kind of what do they call? It's a name they make a phrase for
okay. So I grew up. When we first moved here, we lived in Far Rockaway.
Okay.
Then we moved to South Ozone.
Okay.
Right.
This is still Queens.
Yes, this is still Queens, right? Uh-huh. And then from there we lived in Elmhurst. So we were actually in different cultures all the time because Elmhurst has a lot more Hispanic people. Okay. South Ozone right there, right off of Rockaway. That's a different. We used to have block parties. My parents being West Indian, you can't go out on the block party. You gotta stay in front of the stove, really. Yeah, and people come you're not coming out. No, we can't come out. All of that. Be home before the lights are off.
Right. Come on in here with the lights. Okay.
Even in high school, all of that. So finally adjusting and sort of rebelling and everything just brought me.
Got you. So now, what was the goal for your parents when they came here? What was the goal? Is it a thing where they're like, well, we're told in America you're gonna be successful? Like, what was the angle of coming to America?
I think my mom had some issues with my dad, so it was like trying to get him away from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it was a safe.
Yeah, it was.
Safe
Yeah,
haven.
it was safe haven.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Love
You
that.
know, if anything, we all grew up in our grandmother's house in South Ozone, so we all lived together for a long period of time until eventually everyone branched out.
Do you think that's like a cultural thing? This, and we're gonna get off this, but one of the things that I always admired about people of different cultures that they always stuck together. And when it was time to, you know, one got married, started their own families, then they started to. Some would still stay in the home,
Right?
But then that's when they would, you know, do their own thing.
Yeah.
Is that just like a cultural thing? Because I feel like it's normal for you guys.
Yeah, I think it is a cultural thing. I think a lot of Jews do it too, but it makes the most amount of sense. Like, why would you want someone to go out there, they're not ready, and then they fail or they adapt to something that they shouldn't? People don't understand that.
Yeah. Listen, I'm like, child, I could have stayed home. I would have stayed in my home.
You could have saved, you could have learned, you could have experienced, and you could have still come back, if anything.
Yeah,
I definitely came back home several times, so I know.
So what I was basically saying is I wanted you guys to understand the dynamics of, you know, her growing situation was like in Queens. There's so many cultures. Like there's so much you can learn. You know, you have the bodegas with the Hispanic people. You have the Caribbean people that had their stores and beauty supply, whatever it is. You know, you're gonna learn from those, you know, around you. So that's what I kind of wanted to see, like, you know, how the makeup of Miss Candace came out.
Yes. So the high school I went to was August Martin, so it's right there.
Oh, shout out to August Martin. Those people who went there.
Martin, right? And even
I had some beef with some chicks with August Martin. But not while I was in New York, when I was away in college. Some of them went to Norfolk State. Yeah, if you watch, I know who you are. I didn't say your name. It was weird. I'm like, we all from New York. How we beefing? Like, what? But anywho, go ahead. Shout out to August Martin.
Yeah, but even growing up there, that was like a culture shock because I guess a lot of them, they didn't see Indians or like mixed people. So sometimes I wasn't black enough to be black, which I never understood, which is so weird. What was so funny is that my friend recently saw my father and he looked at me and he was like, oh, you say you Indian. I'm looking at him like...
Yo, we don't have no filter sometimes. We don't even think before we speak. It's just bizarre. We gotta get it together. You Indian, huh?
Yeah, like yeah, my dad looked like Saddam Hussein, but it is.
Stop. I'm done.
With an accent, like, and people don't understand the difference between India and Guyana or even Trinidadians.
Tell us.
Like, Indians are completely different from us. They eat differently. Their religion, a lot of times, everything about them is completely different. I don't know much about them. I'm not Hindu. I grew up Christian, so. Because we have the same type of hair, you know, we're different.
Yeah,
everybody's different.
Listen, you'll be surprised. Even in your 40s, 50s, or whatever, you sometimes gotta tell other people, like, no, that's not what they are.
Right.
So, like, people like, you know, the Puerto Ricans, I'm like, they're all not Puerto Ricans.
Right.
I'm like, you 40 years old still talking like that? Educate yourself. It's rude.
No comment on that.
Rude. No, but it is rude. Like, you can't just say whatever. If you're not sure, just say, I'm sorry, you upset with the right. Or whatever.
Right.
Because it's a different country.
It's a different country. It's a different religion. It's a whole different type of food. Every single thing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that because people, I gotta listen. If you don't know, maybe ask so you don't offend people. Right. That's what I always say. You see how this took it? I'm like, how you say your name?
Yes.
You know, you don't want to offend people. You don't know what that does for them. It could be a trigger for them, but they're like, you're being disrespectful. And you're like, no, I just really didn't know.
Right. Right. A lot of people don't understand that. Well, of course, you know, growing up in, I went to high school in the 90s and Illmatic came out. Yeah. Nas, my favorite. On top of that, to me, he is gorgeous.
Listen, don't do it. We'll cut this live program. Listen, we don't know. He's fine,
He's fine, but that one song, It Ain't Hard to Tell. And something about that song just stuck with me. It's
the
so
whole
funny.
album because he's dope.
Yeah, I mean, he's dope, but I mean, like something
energy
about
of the
that,
song.
the energy of the
Yeah.
song, everything about him just being real, like him just speaking and spitting the truth and
Knowledge.
everything about it, right? So I've always held on to that, right?
So that's where the name came from.
That's where the name came from. So going back to 2020, everybody's at home, pandemic, can't go anywhere, can't do anything. I'm sitting still in the basement, and it's completely quiet, and I'm asking God for direction. Right? And part of that direction is, okay, start a business. Question this, question that. Because in life, you have to question everything. Because you would be so naive to think everything is cookie cut. Yeah, cookie cut, only that way. So I started questioning everything. I started to question the tea I was taking, how much CBD is actually in there.
Wait, let me ask you this. The weight gain situation,
Weight
you
loss,
like
yeah.
the weight gain part, do you mind tapping into that to say when you realize like this the way gotta go? Is it something where you had the baby or
I had the baby, the weight stayed on, you date losers, you like
not you date losers, Sharon.
You date losers, you like food. Sometimes you look in the mirror, but you really don't see yourself, and then
so it was a combination.
Right, so it was a combination of everything, and then I just happened to look like, where the hell is
like,
my
how
neck?
Happen?
Yeah, like where's my neck?
Do you mind sharing how much you weigh?
I have 4 kids. Kennedy right now is 9 years old, so I think at the highest I was like 215, but I'm 5'9".
Right.
So
she's a little taller.
yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes you can't really see the weight, but then you can see the weight.
But you can feel it too.
You can feel it because then like what happened to my knees? Yeah, like I mean I got a lot more hips, I got a lot more butt, but everything else that could go. Like
so you realize like I gotta do something about this weight.
Yeah.
So did someone put you onto the tea, or was it just a trendy thing where everybody got teas going?
No, I met someone right on Instagram and she was selling this tea.
Oh.
Right? So I'm like, okay, tell me about the tea. So I started ordering from her.
Okay.
And during the pandemic, I'm like, you make money from selling this tea? She was like, yeah, I make a profit. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like 2 incomes is better than one.
Say that one.
So I started to sell the tea also.
Okay.
So her and I, we just started talking and it was like, what's in this tea? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So then I started to, the more I started to read, I started to share that knowledge with her.
Okay. So let me get this straight. So she sold a product that she wasn't even all the way informed about.
No, she knew about the weight loss. She didn't know
Okay.
exactly all of the ingredients. So in other words, one of the tea had CBD in it.
Right.
So I mean, like, okay, fine, whatever, we'll take it. Like we don't really know what it is.
Right.
It's just a fab. So
Right.
Flat tummy tea, like people are just taking it because they say that it works.
And they see celebrities say that it works.
They see celebrities taking it.
Let's keep it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started to do that, and then I realized everybody else is selling this tea during the whole entire pandemic. Like, okay, like this is a whole pyramid scheme.
Right.
What the hell is going on? Right?
But you did say it did work though, right?
It did work. I did lose the weight, right? And they have these drops that it would stop you from eating, and I lost a lot of weight.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It did. Yeah, I might go back on the tea on the drops. I'm just joking.
So you purchase this tea. You see this person on Instagram. You reach out to them. And you're like, okay, I want to purchase this tea. Your mind is like, hold on, she making money off this?
Right. So
I don't want to be a customer. I want to be involved.
Right.
So that got your wheels turning. Then you're like, I don't want to be involved. I want to actually know what I'm involving myself in.
Exactly.
I'm repeating this because I want people to understand you have to do your due diligence when it comes to being a business owner.
Yes.
You don't want to be doing stuff just because it's trendy.
Right.
Because what happens is you can be genuine in what you do, but because it looks trendy or whatever, people don't take you serious.
Right.
So now you feel like I can't own a business. That's not true.
That's not true.
Just want to say that.
That's not
it's
true.
Not true.
Everything is a stepping stone.
Yes.
You have to use certain things so that way it can actually elevate you to another level.
Right.
And I needed to start from there so that way I can move on to that other level.
Right.
Right. So now I started to question, what is this? What is hemp? What is CBD? I knew hemp was in the same family as weed, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, because growing up, being West Indian, if we had like a cough, right? But my father used to call it like a dog cough, you know, like the mucus. Yeah. Like he had this one bottle that was soaking in some high wine that had weed in it. And
What's high wine?
Oh, it's a Jamaican rum.
Oh, so it is alcohol. Okay.
Yeah, right. So he would give us a shot of that, and it would knock out the mucus, right? So mind you, this is all hemp based. I'm plant based, so plants heal.
Right.
right? So on top of me taking the tea so that way I can lose weight, I'm starting to eat better because why would I want to eat the same thing and gain it back? Like that don't make no sense.
Thanks for saying that. Let's tap into that. So she's saying she lost the weight, but she also did the work. She didn't. Yeah. She wasn't taking the tea, drinking the tea, and eating French fries.
Right.
So,
I was trying to curb all of that. I started to realize how much mucus you get from eating meat and drinking milk and all of that. Yeah. So I can't be doing the same thing. Like it makes no sense, especially not at this age. I was about to be 40. Mm-hmm. So like my mom already told me once you hit that 40 mark, if you got that stomach, it's gonna stay. So
it's gonna stick, girl.
Yeah.
Get it together.
I gotta get it together. I had broken up with somebody, but it was time for a new beginning. Yeah. So I just wanted to. I guess I lost who I was before, and I just had to remember who I was again.
Come on with the bars right there. That's real tea. That's real talk. You can lose yourself in a relationship.
Yes, and sometimes you have to look at yourself. People are gonna be who they are.
Right.
But it's your responsibility for you to be you.
Boom.
Or remember who you are.
Yeah. Get back to you, sis. Leave him. Send him back to the streets and get back to you, sis. How about that?
Or whomever.
And get that 6-pack back. Well, that's not tummy. Let's go. All right. So now here comes the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Wait. When did you start the tea with her?
Before the pandemic.
Okay, so before the pandemic, you're working on you.
Mm-hmm. I'm working on me.
That's mentally, spiritually, physically. You working on you. Why working on you? Because what happens is, once you get out of that toxic relationship, now you can think clearer.
Yeah.
So now you're like, okay, let me look into the benefits or whatever when it comes to the CBD thing. What made you actually say, okay, let me jump out there and start this thing?
I'm going to tell you, just being alone, being still. Pandemic. People don't understand that when you're still, you can hear when God is guiding you and telling you. Like, he won't have for me, he didn't have a full conversation. Like, I would ask a question, I'm like, God, what should I name this? Mm-hmm. And like, Nas will come Illmatic. And it's like, why? So I named it Illmatic because to me, Illmatic was a 90s vibe.
Yeah, baby.
I'm an 80s baby, so to me, 90s vibes were the best.
We're the best
vibe.
We're the best vibe.
So basically, when you say Illmatic, you're going to get a vibe. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a great vibe. Mm-hmm. And hopefully it's that 90s vibe.
Boom. I love that. So, you're talking to God. Mm-hmm. Come up with the name. I really want you to explain to people the actual steps that you took. Like, okay, I was secure with the name. Mm-hmm. I got it copywritten, or I got it, trademark. Yep. I had to get a logo. Like, tell us the actual chronological.
So sitting still, and I questioned hemp. I read a book about hemp and how it was mandatory for everyone to grow it back then, right? So I'm like, this has to be beneficial. Right. And then it started to question everything else. Like, why do they want us to do this versus that? Why did they stop doing that? So that's when I looked into a farmer. I found a farm in upstate New York. So Illmatic.
How did you find a farmer?
I did my research.
But what that look like? Like, you typed in Google, like, farmers nearby? Like, how?
No. You just, when you're going in the right direction, certain things come to you, which is completely unbelievable.
No, it's God.
Because you know how many farmers they have out there. It's God. Exactly. But
divine connections.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true, right? So I'm sitting there and I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna find a farm. I found a farm, right? This farm is connected to this organization. I'm going to join this organization.
Let's go, Candace.
I'm not a farmer. I don't really do animals, so I don't do insects. So that stuff, that's not for me.
Right.
If anything, Illmatic, it's like an urban high-end brand.
Got you.
Right? So I found this farm. I called them. I questioned, found out where did they get the hemp. The hemp is grown in New York. So I'm not outsourcing it from China or nowhere else.
Thank you for sharing that.
It's all natural. It's no chemicals, nothing like that. And that's the difference what people don't understand. Like, I can honestly say where my hemp comes from.
Right.
And people don't get that. Like, I've been to the farm. Mm-hmm. I know the owner.
Come on,
I can do that. So when he sees me, he goes, Illmatic. Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need. And that's the problem, I think, trends. Mm-hmm. That's the problem with trending. Like a lot of people, they will go with what's popular versus what is actually healthier
for us. And I think, like, you could just maybe tap into this. Even looking at, medication, drug industry, it's $1 trillion industry.
Yes.
And a lot of other countries frown upon us because they're like, you guys will actually keep your people sick and dying just for money.
Yes.
Like, your greed is next level.
Right.
It's bad here. So, that's another reason why I wanted you to come on to speak about hemp, because people are kind of ignorant to it. As soon as they hear, they're like, oh, weed?
Yeah.
And it's deeper than that.
Right. So on top of the home side ignorance is, wait, tell me, it don't get you high. It only got 3%. Right. Like, no, dummy. You're not taking this to get high. You're taking this to get healthy. There's a big difference.
Right.
Like I'm not promoting smoking the hemp.
Right.
Because to tell you the truth, you can make hemp tea and you can get all of the benefits from
right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry, go back to the question that you asked.
No, you're good.
All right. So what I do, I don't smoke, but if anything, I do make my hemp teas. Instead of me taking Tylenol, I'll take a dropper. Okay. If I have any pains or cramps, I'll take my CBD stick or my lotion.
Okay. We're gonna tap into all that you just mentioned because I want you to share the benefits of each and every one of these things. Now, for those who are like, what is hemp? Mm-hmm. What's the difference between hemp, cannabis, marijuana, weed? Like, are you able to break that down?
Okay, so hemp, cannabis, it falls under the same thing. Okay, so the difference between hemp and marijuana is basically the THC level, right? Okay. So marijuana has more THC and very little CBD or CBG. Okay, what's CBG? Okay, I'm going to get into that. Okay, right. So hemp has a lot more CBD, but very little THC. So right now it has a legal limit of 0.3%. Okay, right. So if you're not a smoker, you're not going to feel anything. Right. So a lot of people are like, there's no benefits to it, or find it doesn't work, right? But once again, you're taking this for a healthier choice. Yes. It's not for entertainment purposes. Right. That was good. On top of that, it's not coated with anything. Okay. Like a lot of times people are smoking weed and they're saying, "Oh, it got crystal." No, like, do you know what else you're smoking?
So when you're saying coated, you mean like laced,
right?
Something
laced.
Else
extra. Yeah, something else extra added onto it. Okay. So basically, hemp is a healthier version. Hemp is to actually substitute or minus out medicines. It does not have any. The only side effect it does have is if you take too much, you might get diarrhea. Not diarrhea, sorry. But that's like if you take this whole bottle. There's no reason for you to take a whole bottle right now.
Right. Use wisdom.
Right. Yeah. Use wisdom. Use your head. But I mean, like whatever the case may be, because who knows?
They're like, I was on the toilet the whole time. I understand. Like, you took 2 drops and that happened. No, the whole 2 bottles.
Yeah, like
child.
Okay. Get off my phone.
Leave me alone. I can't. It's funny. All right. So now, I mentioned earlier that it was something personal to me. Mm-hmm. So my son is autistic. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Raj. Yeah, he just turned 21. Love him to pieces. I wrote a book about him. To help people be encouraged that just because your child is autistic doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Right. They can function just like with regular children. You do the work. Right. Whatever work you put in your children, that's what you're going to see. But I remember reading about CBD connected to, brain activity. Mm-hmm. So can you kind of tap into that?
Okay, so the benefits of CBD, right? It sounds crazy when I say this because whatever issue you may have, you can use CBD for. Right. Because it can hit your nervous system, it can hit your brains, and your functions, every single thing. So in other words, depending on your son's spectrum of autism, right? I'm not sure if he was able to move or
yes, he's verbal. He's high function.
So did he have behavior issues or was he hyper? Did he need
the
to
hyperness?
Calm down?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had that.
All right. So because I guess at the time he was a child, right? Depending on the CBD and the dosage. Right, because that's another thing, right? It would be able to calm him down. Now with CBG, right, which is a whole another level, which they call is the mother plant for hemp, right? Okay. So basically, CBG it keeps you alert and focused. Okay. So it still has very little THC in it, which is 0.2%. So in other words, it's gonna be able to keep you focused, just like coffee. So so if anything, anyone that is autistic, they can use that.
Okay, so it kind of levels them.
Yeah.
Gives them like a calmness.
Yeah, a calmness.
Gotcha. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. All right. So now, Illmatic. What was the next step when you realized this is what I want to do? I've done my due diligence. I researched. I know this is something that not only I can make a business, but I know I'm going to help people with this thing. You found a farmer. What was the next step of you? Trademarking. How did you go with the business, the legalities part?
Okay. So before I went public. At the time, it was just my partner and I trademarked. I made sure I did everything before I went public because I already know once I hit that I didn't want anyone to steal anything from it. So I did my trademark.
People will steal.
Yeah, they will steal. So if anything, do your trademark, secure that, secure your logo, secure the name, secure everything that you have to secure your business, make sure all of your business is together, make sure your LLCs, pay for your publications. With that, with of course with hemp, there's a lot more licenses that you need, so you got to pay for that, which it gets pricey.
So when you say licenses, as in reference to what?
Okay, so in other words, I needed to get a hemp license in order to sell. So Illmatic is strictly online, so I needed to get like a retail, like a
retail license. Oh yeah, okay.
But they call it a hemp license.
Okay, gotcha.
My first year I didn't have that. Then the second year that came into play, and now a lot more stuff is coming into play because now they got to make their money back.
Right. Everybody want to get their hands greased.
Yeah,
that's a fact. So you will learn that in business.
Yes.
And it's constantly changing. So you want to be up on things. You know, don't. Let me just say this, and you know what you just said made sense when you said it can be expensive. If you're gonna be serious about a business, you gotta understand there may be hiccups on the road where you're gonna have to fund certain things. You have to spend the money and spend the money.
Yeah.
So you can be taken serious. Spend the money that you spend. Because if it's a real situation, you're gonna get the money back.
Right. Spend the money and also spend the time and do your research. Like you can't speak to someone that doesn't know anything and say, "Hey, buy it because it costs this much." And whoever. No, go into detail as to why they need it. Right. Before. Whenever someone comes to me and they ask me I ask them what issues do they have.
Right.
Because I might not be able to help them.
Right. Good for you. I love that.
Like I don't want to just make a dollar. I want to make a name for myself.
That's integrity. And that's what I feel a lot of the trendy stuff that you see going on, people don't have the integrity.
Right.
They just want to make money.
Right.
That's not because you can hurt people.
Right.
You can hurt people.
Right.
You tell them, oh yeah, take this, and they got so many issues.
Yeah.
You know this is not gonna help them, but you're giving them the illusion that it's gonna help them.
Yeah.
It's not right. That's called scamming. How about that?
I think they know that.
Yeah, it's called scamming. So they gotta stop that because you know you're hurting people. Then they see you're doing it the right way. You did your due diligence, and they're like, I'm not doing that because this happened to me before.
Right.
You know, so cut that out.
Right. I was just talking to a friend of mine, and I told her, like, today I just told her that I had a business, right? New friend, right? So she was like, huh? She was like, oh, I tried it and it didn't work. So I started to ask the questions. I said, where did the hemp come from?
Right.
I said, how many mgs? I said, what's the ingredient?
Yeah.
She was like, you know what? I don't know.
She didn't know none of it.
She didn't know.
Yeah. She just like, it didn't work.
Right. Right. So I'm like, if anything, bring the bottle to me.
Yeah.
Like I will open up the bottle. You would be able to see the difference within the color. Is it broad spectrum? Is it full spectrum? Is it isolate? Like there's so many things that you need to know, which is like, you really need to seek the knowledge if you want the benefits from it.
Absolutely. So now when it comes to stuff like, because I'm thinking about, I don't know if you saw that movie, The Best Man, when I think it was the second one. When the wife, she had cancer, she was losing her hair, everything. And she was like smoking, hemp or whatever. You know, do you ever get questions about that in reference to healing?
I get questions about it. I don't do it. I don't do any disclaimers, right? If anything, hemp does work for your hair because it does help with inflammation. But all of that comes into what are you eating also? You cannot just you just can't take hemp and say it didn't work. No, like are you changing the way you eat? Are you being more active? So
drinking water?
Are you
resting?
Right. But also what type of water too? Because all waters are not made the same.
That's a fact.
So on top of that, I have something called Zion Heritage that has hemp in it. So it's called Zion Heritage. My daughter's name is Zion, and Zion's Heritage is our background goes all the way back to Calcutta, India.
Wow.
So
explain that.
Calcutta, India, it's a place close to New Delhi.
No, I know what it is.
Sorry.
Tell the people
what that is. Okay. Yeah. So Zion Heritage, right? So basically, a lot of people have long hair or whatever or thick hair or whatever the case may be. But once you start reaching a certain age or once you start doing certain things like coloring your hair, stripping your hair, maybe even putting some hair extensions, it could be pulling it and then your hair becomes thin.
Yeah.
Right? And certain shampoos are not made the same. So on top of that, that can make your hair fall out. So Zion Heritage, I have 2 bottles. I have the hair and scalp treatment. It has aloe fenugreek in it.
What's that?
Fenugreek, also a plant, so everything's
Oh,
plant based,
okay.
right? So basically, I'm not gonna say how to make it, but because you can buy it, right? So basically, it's gonna help your hair to grow because a lot of times we put products in our hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it helps our hair, but not our scalp.
Nice.
Right, so
healthy scalp, healthy hair.
Yeah, healthy scalp, healthy hair, but you also have to massage your scalp.
Yes, you do.
Because you have to stimulate it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Zion Heritage, it has to stay in the fridge, but on top of that, it has the hemp in it, so that way it will help with any inflammations like dandruff, dry scalp, whatever the case
nice.
may be.
And so, what's the other bottle for?
So this is CBN. So CBN, it helps you go to sleep. So this is when the THC actually converts, right? So I don't want to say it gets stale, but it sort of gets stale, but it helps.
Like kind of dormant?
Yeah. Okay. So basically it helps you sleep at night. Mm-hmm. So when you think of nighttime or trying to go to sleep, you can think of CBN.
Okay. So that's kind of another one that'll bring like a calmness to you.
Yeah, a calmness. No, it's gonna help you. It's gonna help you sleep and stay asleep.
Oh, and stay asleep. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of you having a sleeping pill.
Yeah, instead of you taking a sleeping pill, or let's say getting up to go pee and then it breaks your sleep.
Yeah.
You will actually stay asleep. Yeah, you're not gonna pee your bed or anything like that. You're just gonna stay asleep and you're gonna wake up refreshed.
You're gonna be rested.
Right.
Because there's a difference between sleeping and resting.
Yes.
So you'll be rested if you take that.
Yes.
Nice.
And all of these products, well, the tinctures, they only have 2 ingredients, which is the hemp and the fractionated coconut oil. Nice. So you can always mix it with your food, with your drink, if you don't like the way it tastes.
Oh, love that. Okay, now let's go. So now, Illmatic is the hemp itself, and Zion's Heritage are the products with hemp in it.
Okay, so Illmatic are the or the hemp CBG and CBN products alone, right? So Zion Heritage is infused with Illmatic's hemp.
Got you. Okay.
And we also have something else coming out soon. I'm partnering up with my friend. She does nails, so it's called Empress Nails. So it's gonna be Empress Nails and Illmatic, and we're gonna do cuticle oil.
Oh, I love it! Come on in here.
Yeah, so we're trying to expand. And
no, you're expanding. We're trying. You're doing it. We love it. We love to see it because no excuse zone.
No, you gotta get up and you gotta do it.
Think big.
Yeah.
Think bigger.
The reason why I actually expanded was because I saw everyone else started coming up with a CBD brand. Like, everybody got CBD? Like, where did it come from? Like, is it made the same? It's not made the same. Yeah. And that's the issue. So I didn't want to get, like, I didn't want to fall away with it. So that's why I said, let me start expanding. Let me start thinking. What else? And a lot of people that have a lot of issues, but they're not thinking about a lot of solutions. Like, my whole thing is like, it's all plant-based solutions.
Love that. Yeah, because I'm one of those. I always have to put the oil. Like I'll be at work, like dapping my little, because it gets dry. Then
it gets dry, start cracking. Yeah,
absolutely. No, that's a good idea. Good for you.
Yeah.
Listen, first of all, let me ask you this, because the first one in the beginning you said you had a partner.
Yeah,
that's no more, right?
No.
How are you meeting these people? Because my brain shifts when I think about partnering with someone, because I'm like, I gotta be able to trust them. What's their intention? What is their personal life? Because this is just me. I would love for you to tap into this. When I think about having a partner in business, I'm looking at the overall person as a whole. How do you deal with your relationship with your kids?
Right.
How are you in reference to, do you pay your bills on time in your personal life?
Right.
So are you going to be able to be consistent when it comes to, what we have to do, our paperwork, our tax laws? Am I going to have to constantly babysit you to do your part?
Right.
Because to me, partnership, you ill,
right?
You Illmatic, right? What you do, and I'm Illmatic, what I do, and us together, we just a force,
right?
But do I have to carry you? Because I don't really know you like that.
I'm not carrying anyone. I'm at an age. You got to carry yourself, right? So if anything, the partnership, it's gonna be a product where we both can benefit from. Okay. So she won't be my partner in business. She will be my partner in that product.
Got you.
Because as of right now, I'm still doing everything on my own, and it's working for me.
Right.
Unless you are right. Unless you are a investor, right now I don't.
You're good.
Yeah, but the reason why I will do business with her is because she has her own, and that's something that I look at. I don't want to talk her. I want to do her.
Right.
Like you gotta come just like
bars.
You gotta come just like me, because if anything, it has to be 2 business savvy people that want a better life for themselves.
And that's the bigger. Like you have to, I don't know. And me talking earlier, you can't force people to see the bigger picture or to see, how things can expand. Some people are just actually small-minded.
Yeah,
they only see one thing and they're like, well, this is what I'm gonna stick to, this is what I'm doing. That might not be the person you want to, partnership with,
right?
Because you somewhere else with it, so
right?
It's gonna be a struggle. So,
well I'm kind of having that problem right now because right now I'm just business minded, and I'm having that issue with friendships too. Like I can't be bothered with the drama with anything else. Like I want everything to be on a high, up and up. So if you're not thinking that way, I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to rock with you.
Right. And that's part of not just being a business owner, but part of, growing up.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? You get to a certain point where you're like, this is what I'm doing now, especially like, I always bring it up, with COVID, we lost so many people. And I think in 2022, people are really at a place where they're like, I don't have time for nonsense. I'm still here.
Right.
So well, I'm not gonna waste my time entertaining stuff that's not gonna grow me up or glow me up.
Right.
So, good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, girl. Come on, Candace. Come on, Candace, with the business, child. All right. So now let me ask you this. Being a mom of 4.
Yes.
Actually, let me go back. How were your parents when it came to you, having children and stuff?
Well, I had my son 16 days after I turned 20. Okay. So that was a shocker. But
were you married the first?
No, I wasn't married at the time when I had him.
So how were they feeling?
I messed up my I messed up my life. I messed up my life. That's what they thought. No, but not both of them thought that.
Was it dad?
No, he was cool.
Your mom was the one?
Yeah.
She was like, girl, what you doing?
Yeah, exactly. But I do understand because as a mom, I have a daughter. So, like you see more for your child.
Right. Absolutely.
But my son did not hold me back. He actually gave me the drive that I needed. Right. He gave me that additional push. Because I think without me having him, I would have been a little wild. Right. Uh-huh. But I needed him to save me. And which he doesn't understand, he saved me more than anything else.
Listen. In my book, it says my son is my lifesaver.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
Yeah, like my kids are my ear. Like they are my purpose because of that, my son has his own business now.
What does he do?
Well, it's called Meech's Car Spot. So he does like car detail.
Okay, detail. Let's go with the
21 years old.
Love that. Yeah. See, he watched your mom though. Yeah. That's why it's so important that we have to, move in a certain way. With our lives, because kids deal with what they actually see.
Yes.
This is not the era of do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They see what you're doing. They get inspired. We're supposed to be the first ones to inspire our children. So I think that's amazing.
Yes, me awesome. Too. I'm so happy for him.
That's awesome.
And I see where it's coming from. But like if I need him, like I just needed him. And he came. So yeah.
Love that. So now, Zion, which child is this?
That's my daughter. That's my second child.
That's the second child. So why'd you name it after Zion?
I named it. To me, Zion is a strong name.
And that was one of my
So I named Zion. And believe it or not, we were listening to Sizzla, the reggae artist.
Oh, Sizzla!
We were listening to Sizzla back then, and
the best music too, y'all.
And her father was smoking. And I guess I was getting a contact, right? And his words, like certain words, just started to stand out.
Yeah.
And at the time, Lauryn Hill, she already named her son Zion, but it had nothing to do with that, right? Zion just stuck out, and then I realized what was the meaning of Zion. Like to me, everything has to have a meaning,
right?
So with that, it came.
So share with them what the meaning is.
What they call Zion, depending on your culture, right? Because everybody interprets it differently, right? I was thinking Mount Zion, right? Like the hill, God, everything like that. So if anything, I gave her a strong name because I wanted her to have a purpose, which she does. Oh my God, that girl, yeah.
Love that.
She does have a purpose.
Love that. So Zion Heritage, the name of the company. Zion is your second born child. So your children are watching their mom instead of watching her go into depression and just choosing to do nothing. She decided to jump out there and start a business, not just one, just to make money, but to actually help and help people. cool.
Right.
That's awesome.
My goal isn't to make money. I mean, like, yeah, that's beneficial.
Yeah.
Right. But if anything, like any money that I make right now, it goes right back into the business. I don't party off of it.
Right.
No.
Come on again.
Right. Everything about Illmatic and Zion Heritage is all about helping and healing.
Right.
Like that's the most important to me because you never know what somebody's going through.
Right.
And to tell you the truth, they don't have to explain that to you.
That's a fact.
You know, if anything, I just want to guide them because I know during like whatever times, like I know when I needed to sit still.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't for me to spill it to the world, you know.
Right.
If anything, I seeked whatever I needed to seek within myself and by myself. So
Love it. So now you said during the pandemic that you were at home and you were virtual.
Yes.
What do you do? Is this something where you see the business taking you from that sooner or later?
Oh my gosh. So I no longer work there. I actually lost that job the day before my 40th birthday.
Wow.
Yes, I was on the Zoom. The HR was like, "Let me speak to you," but I mean, now listen to this. This is how I know everything is divine, right? So anyway, my boss, she said, I'm going to let you go. My due is November 5th. My birthday is November 6th. I was just about to turn 40, and what she said exactly was, she thought that I was more focused on my business than my job. I didn't say anything. I just said thank you.
I know that's a fact.
Thank you.
You were like,
because
thank you for the reminder for me to focus on my business.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I spent a whole year.
Yeah. You like, this job is a distraction, child. You don't really need it.
Exactly.
Boom.
And everything.
Who's she talking to? Who is she talking to right now? Somebody need to hear that bar right there.
Yeah, it's true. Like at first I was embarrassed, like, fuck, I lost my job. Like, baby, for my 40th.
That's part of your testimony.
Yes, everything worked out right.
Listen, it seemed dramatic, but I love stuff like that. Because it's inspiring. People need to understand, one door shuts, another window opens, another door will open.
But you have to live right. You have to do right. That's part of it. Like you can't say, okay, I'm selling this and it's healthy, but then you're doing messed up stuff behind. No, you have to do right all around. Like I have people that I've been friends with who I'm no longer friends with, but I don't wish them any ill. Like I wish them the best, but I understand that my journey with them had to stop at a certain point.
Right, absolutely.
Because sometimes I felt like I was more of a friend to them than they were to me.
Who's she helping tonight? It's Friday night, baby. We lit on hot mic, okay? Who's she talking to? Because that's real talk.
Yeah.
That is real talk. Relationships should be,
mutual.
It should be mutual. It shouldn't be one person getting fat, the other one starving. Like,
right.
we gotta have to do better with that. And, kudos to you for even sharing that. Because a lot of people will just stay in these connections just because.
Right.
They just want to be like, yeah, we've been friends 30 years, but do you even like her anymore?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Are y'all even going the same direction anymore?
Right.
Or is it just a thing that every year you like to say, I've been friends with, if it's not authentic, if it's not growing, like I said, if it's not growing up or growing up, why are you staying in that? This is not love and hip hop. We don't get paid for this.
No.
So what are you holding on to toxicity or to questionable relationships for?
Right.
Especially because in this time, the focus situation gotta be on next level high.
Yes.
You don't have time to be distracted by questionable friendships, questionable relationships. You don't have time.
No.
You don't have time.
No.
Because there's money to be made.
Yes. Yeah. All of that energy you're actually putting into that, you're taking away from yourself. Right. You're taking away from your purpose. Right. You are losing your vision. Every single thing. Just wake up, people. It's so important for you to wake up. And that comes with anything. Quality over quantity. That's so important.
It's the bars for me. Hello in here. I'm telling you, you got to stay focused. Like, everybody who's winning right now are focused.
Yes.
And you'll see everybody who's winning right now are cutting people off.
Yes. And this has nothing to do with them being selfish.
No.
Their vision is like people
tunnel vision.
Their third eye is open. They see more for themselves.
Tunnel vision. And it's so funny, just like you said earlier. I thought that was just great for you to share that. being in a certain relationship basically kind of had you lose yourself.
Yes.
Then when you came to, you on go time.
Right.
It's moving like this. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because now you focused.
Right. But to tell you the truth, I think everybody needs that one slap in the face for them. I mean, hopefully
some
need that. Well, for me, I needed that for me to wake up, and I'm happy it happened. I don't have any ill feelings towards anybody. I really don't care.
It's just a season next close.
Right.
Just like happy. Fall, summer.
Yeah. Right. I'm just happy that I was able to see more for myself, and I see a lot more. That's why I'm talking to somebody.
That's it.
I
Come
see
on,
a lot more for myself.
Let's go.
Like there's more to life than our neighborhood people.
Yeah.
The world is so big. You never know
really
who you might meet.
It really is big. And that's the one thing that, I will say is a positive when it comes to like social media and things like that. You can always use it in a positive way. You don't have to entertain negativity because I don't understand people who are like, I had to get up because it was too much negative. Y'all know how to block me?
Right. like what are you watching?
Didn't you choose to follow that person? Or didn't you choose to get in that group? You can come out of the group, right? Like you're not going to be penalized.
Right.
So it's
right.
Like
you can stop the circus anytime you want.
You really
anytime.
Can. Yeah, you absolutely can. So, thank you so much for sharing that. So we have the two businesses. You have, now let me ask you this. Now, you're focused on the businesses. Mm-hmm. You're doing a partnership now. Mm-hmm. What else is there in store for you as a person?
Elevation. I think the sky's the limit. I have so much more I can do. I can go. I did the Hampton show last year.
What's that?
There was I don't want to say it was a big pop-up shop, but it was like a very big high-end pop-up shop.
Oh, so it was like a
meet and greet. They had like a vendors. You were able to sell your product. It was basically like a conference type thing? Like a conference, a whole entire networking event. I was able to do it last year. I'm gonna more than likely
in Virginia or Hampton here in New York?
Hampton here in New York.
Nice.
That's another level.
Yeah, honey. Come on in here.
So the table was high and I made all my money back.
Love it.
I had this one guy, no lie. He came, he saw my banner. He said, Illmatic, he said, speak to me. And I just had to go. I was a sales rep, like, and he just picked it up, like, get this.
But did you hear what she said, though? The gentleman saw her banner, which means it looked professional.
Yes.
It looked professional. And he said, speak to me.
Yes.
As in, she didn't have time to get ready.
No, you have to
be ready.
Yes,
wow.
I had to be ready. Like I had my good friend. She was there helping me out, and no lie, we did like a whole week or maybe 2 weeks, and she said, "Explain everything to me."
Love it.
Because I told her, I when it comes down to Illmatic, you're not coming to hang out.
Right.
It's not.
Mm-hmm. We ain't doing that.
We're not doing that. Everything's professional. Right. Like I need it done because if anything, you're representing me and. People take that to heart. Like, yeah, you're my friend, but I could bullshit with you. Mm-hmm. But to tell you the truth, I don't even want those friendships anymore. Like, to me, everything is business. Like you need anything for
your brand.
Yeah, it's my brand.
Your brand is everything.
Because you never know who you're speaking to that they might put you on that next level. And that's what you need.
Come on in here, Candace. Encourage your people.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
telling you, like, I'm 41 years old. People are like, you just started? Yeah, I just started. I have my kids to raise. Like that was most important to me. Like my children, because if anything, like even my son right now, he has his own because he sees me. And I'm pretty sure he wanted his own anyway, but he may have been scared or maybe thought that I would be like, no, get your on. Nah, do what you gotta do. Yes. You're young enough to do it. But I was a mom young, so I had to do what I had to do.
Right. Love that. Come on, y'all. Stop playing with this. Stop playing with this.
See, that's the thing with Illmatic, right? Like the way how Nas is and he's open, he's raw. It is what it is. It's raw. I'm open. Yeah. Like no, if things didn't go right. No, I don't everybody having my back. I know I got haters on me. Like you're okay, so you're not fully black. Like what are you talking about? I'm from Queens. I know what's Illmatic. I know the vibe. I know everything. I know what I'm talking about. I know it works.
Mm-hmm. Love that. So do you think also, okay, let me ask you this. You had share with us what these are also. You gave it to me.
I don't have all the products with me, but I have 2400 mgs here. This is the CBD, right? So let's say if you can't sleep, if you have a headache, if you suffer from inflammation that would help you.
Okay.
These are a dropper, so you can just take it under your tongue, hold for 15 seconds, and then swallow. If you don't like the way it tastes, you can add it to your food or drink, right? But the key to CBD is consistency. So you can't take it one time and say it didn't work. It's gonna work. This is our 1200 CBD dropper. This is our 1000 mg's lotion that has lavender in it, right? Whoever needs, you have knee issues, you went out partying, your foot hurts, whatever the case may be, this will help you.
Okay.
I have the CBN here. This is gonna help you if you need to go to sleep. I have CBG also. Didn't bring that. That's at home. So instead of you taking that energy drink, like you don't need to take Red Bull. Like that's not healthy.
Please tap into the Red Bull. I'm not gonna call nobody names. But no, I don't like to say hey, I hate it. I've watched people go through withdrawal.
Yes.
From drinking Red Bull.
Yes.
Please just kind of tap
they make these things addictive, so that way you depend on it, and you don't have to do that. There's a natural alternative, and that's CBG. It's going to keep you alert and focused. Like for me, I was hooked on coffee, but not really coffee. It was the coffee creamers, that additional sugar.
That sugar,
But now I don't have to take that because now I can take CBG. So it's gonna keep me alert and focused instead of me taking that additional sugar. So then I won't gain that additional weight.
Right. It's all connected.
It's all connected.
Wow.
Yes, my products are high end, so the price is up there, but it's worth it.
Yeah, you gotta take your health seriously.
Yes, you do.
You see how our food that's healthy for us is more expensive than the junk food.
Yes.
So you gotta just have the mindset to say, I'm gonna have to spend this money. It's like we're working out. You're gonna pay for the gym and actually show up, or you can just use the floor at your house. Right. You're gonna do what you have to do if you take it serious.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's up here.
It is.
Good for you. I love that. So so everything is online, correct?
Everything is online. You can go to www.illmaticnyc.com. It's from farm to NYC because it comes directly from the farm in New York.
In New York.
In New York.
Love that.
Right to the big city.
That is dope. So now, if people have more questions, where can they reach you?
You can email me. That's info@illmaticnyc.com. You can call me. My business number is 347-517-9836.
All right. And clearly she's a wealth of information. So
I have it.
I love that.
I get nervous, but I mean, you can always call me. You can ask me. You don't have to buy. You can just ask simple questions. If it's not for you, if it's for your parent, if you're on blood pressure pills, you can take it. If you don't want to take any of the droppers, you can actually use the salve. It's a hemp stick, and you can put it on your temple for headaches. I just had my cousin. She bought the salve, and at first she said it didn't work, but then she just DM'd me and she was like, "Girl, it works." My knee was hurting, and I just used it and I wrapped it up, and it works because it works. But a lot of times people, they don't want to see you win, so they will say anything. So you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, stick to your guns. If you know this is for you, then make it happen. Go ahead, girl.
Thank you.
Go ahead, girl. She out here showing out in New York, okay? Let's go. Listen, everybody make sure you follow her on social media. Give your social media.
Social media, Instagram is Instagram __ farm to NYC. I'm also on LinkedIn.
_Illmatic _.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm like, she didn't say that, right?
A long day.
_Illmatic _
farm to NYC.
Farm to NYC. That's just the one page?
Yeah, that's just the one page. You can always hit me up on LinkedIn because every business account should have a LinkedIn account.
Say that one.
Because every business account should have a LinkedIn account. That's another level of meeting people.
And networking is life.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, and then she just kind of chose violence with me earlier. Just going to throw that out there about my email, which I already knew. So it was confirmation. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something, right? When you're doing business and when you see someone else doing business, it's not that they don't know. It's your job for you to guide them and help them. Because if anything, you want them to look professional too. So it's no shade.
Yeah. I'm joking around. That's my personal You know what I'm talking about. But it was literally in 24 hours, 48 hours that I heard this the second time. I said, okay, God. And look, I'm going to do what she said because there's no hate.
Right.
I want her to win, and she wants me to win. And that's how easy it is. And that's how it's supposed to go.
And that's the way that it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Our goal should be to build a circle, a networking circle. So that way, whatever you need, I can actually volunteer. This person knows this because I don't have all the answers and I don't do it all, but somebody else within my circle does. But if anything, I need to know what you're doing is real because I'm not gonna just I'm not just gonna guide you anyway. No, that's not gonna work. If any, I don't know. But unless I know what you're doing is real, I have someone else. I just told her about someone else that she needs to interview because if anything, we need to grow. Absolutely. And we can help each other. We can support each other.
We should.
And believe it or not, if we all came together and build a small group, it would become a big group. Yes,
of course. And I'm glad you mentioned that. And I'm gonna close out, but a lot of what she is saying, a lot of times we'll see on social media. We'll see certain, I don't like to say gurus because it's almost like a jab. You'll see certain people, you'll see the glitz and the glam. One thing they all have in common is it's a circle going like this. They're all promoting each other. They're all saying they're all doing the same thing. They all have the same blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Because they're in conversation. They're in those same rooms together. And that's what basically she's saying. It shouldn't be a thing where, she meets somebody else who's doing CBD where she don't want to tell them something about their business because they're doing the same thing. When you're secure in who you are and what you do, you gotta worry about anybody else. I promise you that. That's not just me being funny. You don't have to worry about nobody else.
And if anything, try to find a mentor. Try to find someone that is above you that's doing it right. There's no problem. You can copy them, but not to the T. You still have to tweak it so that way it actually reflects who you are.
Who you are. Thank you for saying that because you can be inspired by somebody, but don't basically wholly steal their idea or steal their swag. For one, you can only do something but so long. Who you are is gonna seep out. It's gonna come out. You know what I mean? Here I go trying to do CBD. I'm like, because CSG and ABC.
Everybody does that. Everybody does that.
And then everything else I do is gonna be questioned. Because I'm so thirsty to do what she's doing. So stick to your lane, stick to one thing at a time is okay. I have a million ideas. But it wouldn't be wise for me to try to do all of them. So I love that, you started with learning about the hemp and everything, and then you said, let me do the infusion with my daughter's name. That's how you do it.
Like I have flower, I sell flower, but I don't smoke, so I don't promote it. But if you want to buy flower, you can buy flower from me. Can you cook with it? Yes, you can do so many things.
Flower's the actual plant thing.
The actual plant. So what I do is that I make hemp tea instead, or CBD tea. So I just take it and I just boil some water and I just put it in. I let it sit, I let it simmer, and then I drink it and I get all of the benefits.
So that's the other thing I want to know. Do you have it to where like on your site where you actually tell them exactly how to use it?
In the description, it tells you how to. If anything, I don't sell the flower on the site. You can send me an email. You can get it. I have my one client that always hits me up, and I go and I make deliveries locally.
Nice.
And I love meeting my clients because if anything, then I can tell them about another product.
And you also learn what they're looking for. Go ahead, girl. Come on in here. Listen, you guys make sure you follow Illmatic. Underscore Illmatic underscore.
It's Friday.
I'm telling you, we both work today. Underscore Illmatic underscore farm to NYC on Instagram. Please be sure, email her. She gave her business phone number. Tag somebody, share this information with somebody, guys, because there's people that you probably really do love. You have stuff going on and you're not sure how to help them. Go the holistic way. Go the holistic way because
plants heal.
Plants absolutely heal. We had plants before we had drugs. Hello in here. Let's just keep it above. We had plants before we had drugs.
With zero side effects.
Right. And we were healthier.
Yes, we were.
So let's just be real about that. So please, sir, please, ma'am, make sure you subscribe to How Michael Lady She Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you follow Miss Candace Moonsammy. Look, y'all hear my little fake accent? On Instagram and inbox her, or do you check the DMs like that?
I check my DMs.
Okay, great. Inbox, DM her, contact her, whatever question that you have about CBD, about hemp, about what was it? You said another one, CBG also.
CBG
I'm
also.
gonna ask a little bit more about that as well. But yeah, so much information. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for my connect for
Let's
pairing
go.
us up.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be more connections too. That's why I love
Yeah.
God, man. I love God, and He be knowing.
Yes, he does.
Like He be knowing, because there's gonna be more. What she just said. There's gonna be more for sure. It's gonna be more for sure. Definitely hashtag divine connection in this moment. But listen, everybody. Enjoy your Friday night. I hope we blessed you. I feel blessed. I feel inspired. I feel encouraged. I feel I got a new ignite in my spirit to tap into some other things. But God is the greatest. Listen, be sure to tap into Miss Candace, Moonsammy, Illmatic, Zion Heritage. Everybody have a good night.
Thank you.
Later.